the Pro Bowl last night. It was a send in the clown or send in the clowns moment. And that's what they did. They sent in their best clown. And their best clown is a YouTuber slash influencer who was brought to us by Deion Sanders and Well Off Media. His name is Shedeur Sanders. And this isn't just me picking on Shedeur Sanders, because I authentically believe for what the NFL is doing and turning their game into just a cash grab, de-emphasizing merit, de-emphasizing competition, getting in bed with every streaming service and every television network. The NFL has to produce content to justify this. And so now they've gone into, hey, look, we don't care what type of content we throw up to these networks, to these streaming services, to sports fans. Again, the big reason or the theme of this show, one of the themes that I've tried to tell you guys about, like, fans are the most disrespected constituency in America. There is no respect for fans. There's just, how can I reach in a fan's pocket and grab money from him? How can I serve up something that's inferior to what we used to serve up and convince that fan, no, that's just as good? How can I get you to believe that what's the meat that isn't really meat? Impossible? Yeah, an Impossible Burger. Yeah, that's the same as a Wendy's double cheeseburger, that Impossible Burger. Oh, and it's so healthy. It's grasshoppers and grass and other, mushrooms and all this other stuff. Oh, you don't really care what's in there. It's fake meat, and it's better than real meat. And there are people dumb enough to believe that. And that's what they served up last night at the Pro Bowl. There has never been a stronger message of, hey, man, we don't care about you fans. We will serve you anything. And look, we have sat through NBA All-Star games that were a joke. But at least they were wearing basketball uniforms. At least they were on a basketball court. And at least they were playing with a basketball. It resembled, it's a lazy version of the NBA. It's a lazy version of basketball. But it's still basketball. Last night, the NFL sent Shedeur Sanders their version of Jake Paul, the YouTuber influencer that does all these fake boxing matches, gets into the ring with Mike Tyson, just got his butt kicked by Anthony Joshua, but got into the ring with Nate Robinson and built up this brand. And Jake Paul, out of nowhere, became this guy in the boxing world that could command $20, $30, $40 million for fake fights or for exhibition circus fights. The NFL just did that with the Pro Bowl. They keep branding it the Pro Bowl. They keep telling you it's the Pro Bowl. They keep telling you people made the Pro Bowl. And then they sent guys out in T-shirts and shorts and baseball caps with flags wrapped around their waist. And they called it football. And they called it something that we should pay attention to and care about. And they did it on a field that was 50 yards, that looked like it was a warehouse that they had rented out. Someplace where someone might throw a rave party. Do they still throw raves? Or is that a, old school Whitlock 2000s? They still have raves. But it looked like some, abandoned warehouse where, like, hey, man, this would be a good place for a rave. The cops will never come, and, we can do as much drugs as we want. We can play this EDM music, and, no one will complain about the noise because we're out here in the middle of nowhere inside a warehouse. And, people want to hook up. We got porta potties out back that they can go, hook up in the whole. Look, I used to be an idiot. I know what a rave looks like. And that's what we have for the Pro Bowl, in a warehouse. Men running around in shorts and raggedy T-shirts, mic'd up, gold chains everywhere, and half-aing a flag football game. They set flag football back, not just the NFL last night. And they did it built around the stardom of this YouTuber and influencer called Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders is not a legitimate starting quarterback in the NFL. He's a gimmick with a cult-like following built by his dad and his brother's well-off media, social media, digital media platform. They've turned him into something that, like a train wreck, a reality television star. I'm going to date myself again. Do anybody remember Puck from Real World MTV? That's who Shedeur Sanders is. I don't know. I just be out here, yeah, legendary. Yeah. That's Shedeur Sanders. Do you know how dumb we are and how dumb we've been dumbed down into that someone with virtually no command of the English language, we're sitting, oh yeah, he's a leader. He's a leader of men. He's an NFL quarterback. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, legendary. That's Shedeur. And people are running around like their life depends on it, that he's some NFL quarterback. His first pass of the flag football game was picked off. Not that it was all his fault, but they sent in the clown. Just like Jake Paul is the clown that's being sent around in the boxing world to make money and to rip people off, the NFL did this to us. They have no respect for sports fans. And we demand no respect. Look at what they're doing to the halftime show. Look at what they did to Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft. And I understand that Roger Goodell at his press conference, hey, that's not us. We got nothing to do with the Hall of Fame. Nah, man, it's not that easy. If Roger Goodell calls the Pro Football Hall of Fame and says, hey, man, what are we doing here? This is bad for the NFL brand. Fix that. It would be fixed in an instant. So Roger Goodell can't say, no, that's not on us. They have turned this Super Bowl week. They're destroying the greatest event in the history of American sports. They're destroying it in real time. We're watching it. The Hall of Fame deal has been overshadowed by jealousy of Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft. They're not going in. That's the biggest story going on Super Bowl week. The second biggest story was this clown show they just put on last night with the Pro Bowl. And you have all these former players that like Ndamukong Suh and others that are just like, they can't resist. They can't help themselves. They have to say something. It's like, man, I used to play in the Pro Bowl, and that used to be such an honor, and now they're dishonoring it and disgracing it. You got a quarterback out here who's a YouTuber and an influencer. He's Jake Paul. And everybody wants to tiptoe around Deion because they don't want to get crossways with Deion and well-off media, and they don't want to get crossways with social media because it's so idolatrous towards Deion. But some of these guys just can't help themselves. They risk their lives playing football. That's a little strong. They risk their health playing football. And they're watching the game be denigrated. And they're watching guys that like they have no respect for and can see that like, man, this is like a fashion show, not just before the game. They're bringing this gay stuff to the game. Everybody. Diamonds and pearls everywhere like they're Cleopatra. And I get the whole hip-hop, I'm a rapper, I'm Jay-Z, I'm 2 Chainz deal. But men that actually played the game of football, I was like, man, you can't wear it. You can't play the game wearing diamonds and pearls. That's a Prince song. That's what women do for a fashion show, to go to the Met Gala. Heavy on the gala. They've turned football into the gala, and that's why they're having it in the gay area, and that's why Bad Bunny a homosexual Satanist that doesn't sing or rap in English is the halftime performance. This is all on Roger Goodell's watch, and they're serving it up. And because you can bet on it, because you can score fantasy points with it, we're just accepting it, watching it, and pretending like we're not watching a circus. Bread and crumbs. I'm going to land the plane there with my analogy of Shedeur Sanders to Jake Paul, that Shedeur Sanders is a YouTuber and an influencer, and that's the way. That's the next iteration of the NFL. They will televise anything and call it football, and we will close our eyes and pretend like, yeah, we're watching football, and that this isn't dishonoring the game. There's no respect for the game. I don't get it. I mean, I love this game, and I got some reverence for it, and that's why I get so upset about, like, hey, what are they doing to the Hall of Fame? What have they done to the Pro Bowl? And again, the best thing to do with the Pro Bowl is just to eliminate it. It can't be done anymore. Guys are making too much money. They're not going to risk their health in an exhibition football game. Just don't do it anymore. But they're so greedy, and they think you've been dumbed down so much that you will just accept it.